there was spectators, and they were getting out on the floor. I stopped the game. Who are you rooting for? This team. Teed up their team because they had whoever was rooting for them was on the floor. And I'm like, I don't want to get hurt because I'm running down reffing. Tee them up. Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of Falcons Corner. Voice of the Falcons, Mike Rickert, back in his seat.
I am.
Not hovering, the good guy that knows.
Kept it warm, I know.
Did you like that?
I did.
I still wanted a fake arm or something pulling me at us or something. And then turn Tom 2, the SID on and behind the camera.
And today, I don't know what it's going to be.
It's cold. There's games today. It's Tuesday when we film. Softball home opener, it's 10 degrees.
Yeah.
Baseball's going to New Rochelle. It's 12 degrees. You know, Berg's got a broadcast.
Yeah.
You have hot chocolate in your thermos.
I got a broadcast. I got to take stats. It's going to be awesome, man. Can't wait.
Yes.
But like full commitment from the athletic department, minus me. Because he'll be there. Kira's going to be there.
I'm
you
going
said
for
you're
some.
going. Pardini's got his long johns packed. Eric's going down after. Joe's already going to be there.
Yeah, so
I'm going to stay warm.
Yeah, it'll be nice. I will stay until I
Someone's
get
got to
too
watch
cold.
the fort, you know? Someone's got to stay back.
Yeah, I'm going to stay until it gets too cold.
Right.
Yes, and I'm going to bring my big puffy football jacket.
Is Danny
on
the designated survivor of
Yes, you're the guy step back. So that's an honor, though. You're like a Supreme Court justice.
But on
or a
those
member of the
80
cabinet.
degree sunny days, I still don't get to go.
Yeah, and hopefully we have those soon. So we started off with softball last week. Let's start off with baseball this week because one of our baseball players is athlete of the week. Right?
That's right.
We'll get into it in a second. But baseball got on the winning track a little bit last week. We won some games.
Yeah.
It was nice.
Won, what was it, 4 in a row?
Yeah.
And 5 of 6.
Five of six.
And then including that first game of the doubleheader with Frederick, which was a team that went to the World Series last year, same as we did. But then dropped the second game to Frederick. But still, Louis Kegerice, another big week. 10 RBI, a couple home runs, a grand slam, a couple doubles as well.
Yep.
He's raking right now.
Yep. And hopefully, and we always kept saying that the other bats will start getting hot, and they are a little bit. But hopefully he stays hot while everyone else gets hot, and then we could score more. We put up 29 against Monroe Bronx.
As I heard Eric saying, I was only there for the first 3 innings, so 11 runs or whatever. It was like an unassuming 29 runs.
We didn't steal a lot of bases in the game and take extra bases.
Right.
We just got some bases. They didn't really misplay balls. That's just,
Right.
It wasn't.
There's a couple walks here and there,
walks
but
and maybe an error here and there, but it was more of just us just hitting the ball a little bit.
A lot of hits.
And eventually, that's gonna happen.
Really, the top of the order has been very good. Aiden McNelly is leading the team. I think he's at 448. Kegerice is right behind him at 447. Matson's been hitting really well too.
Right.
And it's starting to trickle down a little bit. Rickert, of course, has a couple triples in the last couple games.
3 triples in the last 3 games. And a couple doubles thrown in there too. So he's coming out of his early season slump.
D'Amico starting to hit better in the middle of the lineup too. I know last year he was more towards the top, but this year he's kind of in the middle, and he seems to be doing okay with that. And, Jake Kelleher had a couple long hits that became outs, but was getting good contact against Monroe Express. So, the signs are there. It's just about kind of all putting it together.
Right, and then, like I said, we always talk about this time, especially when it's cold and you got a bunch of games. So they played Friday, they played 2 Sunday, they played 2 on Tuesday, and then they open Region 19 playoffs. So all comes down to pitching, right?
Yeah,
so, that's it might be we might have to put a lot of runs up on the scoreboard today, which was 2 days ago, and the score is here
against Monroe.
So
But you got to take it. So it's cold, but you got to take advantage of it not raining.
Yes.
And unplayable field conditions. And things. So it stinks that it was still 70 degrees last week, just not on the day that we played right away. It was a little windy. and then it drops to 40 with a real feel of 28.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So.
And then the weather's not looking great for whatever we got going on this weekend either.
Yeah,
So
it's
I
going to
know
be
Friday could be cold at Morris, and then a 3 and a nightcap, 6 o'clock doubleheader.
That's the part, because it's going to
could
be
be a little
44
bit-
and sunny on Saturday, but we're playing later.
Yeah.
So
I'm
we'll
looking at
see
maybe
how
the high school game that's being played before us. Say they postpone that early,
Right.
Hey.
and then
Like a
they
slide or
just
something.
say, "Hey, we're going to slide you up a little bit." We have to be a little,
Right.
pretty flexible in fluid situations. But it stinks that the end of February was 70 plus.
Right. Yeah.
And we've gotten some
And then
colder
I think
days.
we had, so it's,
Yeah.
it stinks,
But
but
they're still
it is
playing.
what it is.
We're still playing. We're still
Right.
going out. We're still competing.
Right. So more importantly, when you're playing in the cold, especially since I work with our softball girls, we'll talk about them in a second, that they stay healthy. We do extra hamstring emphasis for these cold weather days. So when I'm
And
down there,
layers.
hopefully they warm up
Dress
properly
appropriately.
and take care of.
And
Yeah.
you mentioned pitching. We did have some good pitching performances on top of the offense.
Right,
that we
Friday
had.
was-
Nick Biazzi, 15 strikeouts in
Right.
6
in
innings.
6 innings, 1 hit, no walks.
Really, really good
went
performance
5
for him.
2/3, perfect innings.
And he needed to have a game like that.
Yeah.
And he came out and had a good
Right.
one.
And we know he has quality stuff, and he's just another guy that just needs to, get reps on the mound and
Yep.
get his innings in and build up his stamina, and he would be fine.
Similarly, Nick Finarelli turns around on Sunday,
Yep.
has a good outing against Frederick. Only
Right,
gave up
right.
a couple, I think it was 3 hits or something in a
Yep.
run. Only struck out a couple, but was really, really in command through most of that game and was a big part of why
Right.
we ended up winning
And I'm
that
sure
game.
that Frederick
8-1.
game gets the coaching staff thinking, we were kind of where we need to be. Here's another team that's
Good
kind of in the
indicator.
Northeast
Right.
and, was a World Series participant and was,
Yep.
won a game out there and were competitive in all their other games. We went out and at their place after a road trip, split with them.
Sure.
Yep.
Even though getting 10 run ruled in the
That's
in the
a-
second game, but
It's still a good
still taking
showing.
1 out of 2 from them and winning 5 out of 6.
Especially after the struggles that the
Early on.
Falcons have had so far this season, to go on the road at a team that is now 17-3 and to be able to split like that, I think that's a big deal.
Yeah. Are you talking to Louis?
I'm going to try to. Probably,
Oh, it'd have to be tomorrow.
I'm probably going to have to talk to him tomorrow, but
Right.
he will. My goal is to get him on the show. That's for
Okay,
sure.
cool. All right. Well, let's take a break and then we'll come back and talk softball and wrap up the show.
Let's do that.
All right. We'll be back. Falcons Corner, Take Flight.
Hey, it's Tom Ferguson, Sports Information Director with Lackawanna College. Normally, we're talking to our Athlete of the Week. We're not doing that this week, but we are talking to someone who could be an Athlete of the Week. You did a lot of running around the past 2 days, getting ready for STEM Day, right?
You have no idea.
We're talking with Bob D from Lackawanna College Esports, joining us to give us an update on what's going on in the world of esports. Bob, it's been a crazy semester for you guys, a ton of matches, teams competing every day of the week, and a lot of success, too, for the Falcons so far.
Yeah, this semester we launched Rainbow Six Siege, which is a new title for us. We're currently 5-1, going into our last match on Friday in NJCAA. NACE, they lost 2 matches to 2 very good schools.
Right.
Rocket League is undefeated in all leagues. They'll wrap up their last match Friday because their other 2 forfeit.
Right.
So we got that. Super Smash Brothers has been killing it too. Bash and Surf, between the 2 of them, have 1 loss. Bash is undefeated again. He did win the Super Regionals of the East last year.
Right.
Unfortunately, he got the flu, him and Xavier, so him and X bowed out pretty early in the national playoffs because they just couldn't compete physically.
Right.
So hoping for a lot of success and hoping to add to the trophy cases.
Right, yeah, that's what we're hoping for, especially when we talk about Rocket League, and you mentioned going undefeated in NACE. I mean, that has usually been a tougher division for Rocket League to compete
Yes.
in. They've done obviously very well in the NJCAA, winning back-to-back championships, but in NACE, that's always been a tougher one for them. what have you seen watching them play you think has made a difference?
So with the past 3 semesters now, we've had a core of Aoka and JK for Shizzle, and we've always had to add that third piece, and we've been doing well cycling them through and coaching up our third to help produce, and we've been killing it this year.
Sure.
Our third is CJ. Connor plays for the Overwatch team, he plays for the Valorant team, and he's a starter on the Rocket League team. So he's doing full duty helping out, and he's also he works at Dick's at the pro store, so gotta get some discounts on
some gear ahead of the golf tournament.
Yes,
right?
exactly.
But adding him has kind of made a big difference, at least for the team too.
Yes,
right?
Compared to last year, the guys have said he is much better to play with and play around. As tactics wise, he's very mechanical as well as Aoka, so that JK just plays his game. I call it like he's like the drunken monk JK. He's phenomenally good, but he doesn't have any mechanical skill. Right. And he's been commented on by Oka and CJ, just saying, I don't know how he's so good. And it's like the talk of the town.
Is he the chaos agent, more or less, on the team?
He is. And now that we also hired a coach, finally, for Rocket League, former professional player, T. Carell.
Okay.
He's won some stuff in Rocket League professionally and at the collegiate level.
Right.
Him and JK played together at Winthrop and won a national championship in the NECC, so that's a big ad for us.
Right.
So,
and obviously that's made a difference going undefeated in NACE and the NJCAE to this point anyway, with an opportunity to compete for another championship hopefully and push forward. Plus, as you mentioned, Rainbow Six, that's a new sport for us this semester.
It is.
And those guys have immediately kind of come out of the gate and performed well.
Yeah, from day one, I played Rainbow Six with a couple of our buddies. We took it very serious a couple years ago, so I bring a little bit of that aspect. And the team has just bonded from day one, having good individuals, to now we have a solid team, and they're playing for each other and not being not having big egos, essentially.
Right.
They have a set goal. They want to win. They actually talked to one of their players to come back for his associate's degree because he's in a full-time certificate program.
Okay.
To potentially try to three-peat. So they're already planning semesters ahead if everything goes well this semester. So I'm pumped. I'm happy about it, and we're going to see where this goes.
That's awesome. And obviously Overwatch and Valorant still competing as well. And
yes.
As we mentioned, Super Smash Brothers with a couple players. How does it feel to have a full complement of games going on right now in terms of varsity competition?
It's wild because since I've been here, we've always had 3 to 4. Now we've got like 6 teams competing. We have a couple soccer players playing FIFA as well.
Yeah.
We have somebody playing Hearthstone. It's all the time. It's so busy. I'm lucky, and shout out to Joel, our stream production manager.
Yep.
He runs Mondays and Tuesdays for me, so I can just go relax, have dinner, watch some TV, and do other esports stuff.
You do some casting as well.
I do.
When you have to. So as a fellow, you have to protect the voice a little bit,
yes.
Right?
And as somebody who's always struggled publicly speaking, casting has always been fun. Mm-hmm. And figuring out how to not fumble over your words and everything, I think I've come a long way. Even from this last week, we played our closest game in Rocket League against Lindenwood, mm-hmm. and it was the first game of the season. We went to 5 total games in a best of 5. It's always 3-0 or 3-1,
right.
Depending on if the guys are goofing around, which I'm coming for you. And just to see that, it was just like, holy crap. It's just awesome. And then we played Pentech in our last game. They were watching because they played Lindenwood right before, and they lost. And they were going into last week, we were 3 undefeated in NACE, the 3 of us, and they lost right before. We played them, and then we played Pentech, and we have a relationship with Pentech. I was mentored by their program director,
right?
And one of our faculty members' grandsons played on there. He was my IT intern for a couple summers. Right. So Alex was here, and then he's very skilled at Rocket League, and afterwards he was like, I was watching the game, I was so happy you guys beat them up, and then the commentating, because I lost it. I was full on college football screaming, channeling our days.
Sometimes when you get that excited, that exciting finish, those exciting games, and especially not having them,
yes,
you have to take advantage of it, right?
And for that game specifically, we were down 0-2. I'm like, how are we going to drop a match? Oh man, going into playoffs for NACE, I'm like, we got to roll undefeated. We've been undefeated in NJ, except for one time we had a forfeit, right. So it was just this can't happen. And the guys had a very, very slow start, and then we came in hot, game 3, and
Reverse sweep.
Yeah,
right?
reverse sweep. It was awesome.
That's
It was
really
pumped.
cool. So playoffs start next month, right?
Correct. The first 2 weeks of April are playoffs for NJ. I'm unsure about NACE, but those start then. So how most of NJCAA East stuff is super regionals. So you play through the East or through the West, and then the top X amount of seeds, depending on how many teams there are in the Premier Series, go to the
national tournament.
Yeah,
right?
like last year in the fall, I'm pretty sure there were 16 teams in Rocket League.
Right.
So it was the top 8 from each side, and then you played through.
Right.
So hopefully we go back to Bartar and have that watch party.
That was a fun event to be a part of and get to watch them on the big screen and all that stuff down there. We also have an event. I want to talk to you guys as we get closer to it too. But coming up on the 20th, with some of the local high schools, trying to get some of our Super Smash Brothers players that are in and around the area, trying to bring them together for an event.
Yeah, so we're partnering with NEIU 19 to do a Super Smash Brothers tournament like any other that the area's seen. I've been working with a local organization to do community events, so that's helped figure out what we need to do better for our high school events. So we will be doing that. It's like a $10 entry.
Okay.
There's going to be prizes for first through third cash, so a little buy-in, big reward. Hopefully we'll have some giveaways. I am working with a couple of our partners to get some swag made, some t-shirts, some water bottles, some blankets, some t-shirt hoodies. So we'll be giving those away. My boss will be 3D printing Super Smash Brothers trophies, so we'll have that going on too. Well, actually, I think we're going to do 3. We're going to do a big one in gold, 3D printer filament, one in silver, and then copper or bronze, depending on what color how the colors print. So yeah, it'll be cool.
Very cool. And of course, that's happening in our theater as well, right?
Correct, in the theater on April 20th. I think the start time's around 10. You could check our socials. Play LC Esports on Twitter is probably the best way to find the information on that. We have our start.gg page, which is very good tournament platform for esports organizers. So we'll be there doing that.
And we're always streaming, twitch.tv, Lackawanna EDU.
Yes.
Every night.
So many streams, yeah.
As we mentioned, Monday through Friday, it's nothing but esports.
And Thursday and Friday are long because we go, Thursdays are Valorant into Rainbow Six, and those are the 2 longest games, even though they're best of 3. They can go up to like 3-4 hours a game. And then on Fridays, we go from a doubleheader in Rocket League to a match in Rainbow Six again. So it's like, never ends, dude.
Well, we're catapulting. We're vaulting into the final month of the semester. Hard to believe that, right?
I know.
And we're getting there, and we're looking forward to seeing more what's going on with esports, and hopefully celebrating a 3rd straight championship in Rocket League, and maybe some other ones. See, here.
There you go, buddy.
Get another one of these jerseys.
Yes, sir. Got to get one that'll say Rainbow Six Siege, though.
Yes.
So.
Yeah, we need not just Rocket League now. We want more.
Yeah, I want a Super Smash Brothers. I want it all.
You know, as Coach Rickert says, we need more W's. As the
W's
voice
all around.
wants, we need more W's.
Maybe one day we'll get you and the voice cast in an esports match. Maybe we'll start with Rocket League because it's like car soccer.
The voice would love that.
Yeah.
If I know him.
I'll get the full red carpet out production wise. We'll get player cameras on you, like commentator cameras. I'll run the production behind the scenes.
We could do it.
All right. Sounds like we'll schedule for the playoffs.
What we'll do like what ESPN does with their NBA and men's basketball commentary teams, where they switch sports one night.
Yeah.
You guys will go to a baseball game or something, and we'll go do the
Rocket League. Yes. Yeah. All right. I'll put in a word with Eric. We'll get it coming down from top down, so it's mandated. We'll get in the contract with the voice once a season.
We can do it.
Yeah.
Well, Bob, we appreciate your time. I know you're busy. You got your IT stuff going on. You got esports going on. As we mentioned, STEM Day happening this week here. So we got a lot of kids coming in and out of the student union on Thursday. So it's gonna get crazy. But
chaos. We live in chaos, buddy.
That's right. Appreciate your time.
Thank you, buddy.
We'll be back with more. It's Falcons Corner. Take flight.
Hey everybody, back on the Falcons Corner, voice of the Falcons, Mike Rickert. Good guy, the no call with Stanley Berg, all dressed up today, and then turn to Tom.
On the camera behind nowhere to go. Like half. Yes. It's like the mullet, like business and then party. So I got my hoodie and I got my thing, just in case I decide that I can make it outside into the cold.
Like we were mentioning, softball has their home opener 2 days ago, which is actually today when we're talking to you. But the results again, Berg.
Penn State Hazelton.
Penn State Hazelton. We win, we lose. We put
And
only
I'll tell
winning
you,
scores up.
And it's I was looking at their schedule. This is Penn State Hazelton's first games.
Yeah.
It looks like
All right.
so because I couldn't believe they didn't have a record. So I just needed to make sure that we were on their schedule.
Yep.
And at the same time, that's the interesting thing about this time of year. It's like, hey, are they really coming? We don't have the contract back yet, but we're on their schedule.
Right.
And the umpires are scheduled for 3:30 as well, because for Friday, it was 3:30 again,
Right.
not 3 o'clock.
Yep.
So we have to give the information to people, and there's a lot of double and triple checking
Yep.
in the spring. So,
course.
but for Hazelton, this will be a warm up coming from where they're coming from at
sure.
their high elevation.
Yep.
But again, home opener, and looking forward to
Right.
softball's been doing pretty well.
Yeah, they had
They've been
a
off since last week. So.
Well, they had a sweep on Sunday, right? at
Yeah,
Chesapeake?
after a week off, played 2 very tight games against Chesapeake.
Yep.
One game they won in extra innings,
Right.
And then the other game they were
held
winning.
on- they held on late.
They were winning 9-1 late and
Yep.
got a little closer than they.
Coach Pittman gave me the rundown yesterday in the weight room about the 9-1 possible comeback by Chesapeake and how he was keeping his fingers crossed and biting his fingernails at the same time, to hold on to that victory. But
He seemed happy about it, though.
Yeah.
He seemed like and he thinks that he's got a pretty solid group now.
right, and he tried some players in different positions and stuff too, and maybe it didn't work out as best. But that's when
Right.
you do those things. Just see work on some depth and
It's
things like that.
it's a big deal to go on the road and take 2 from Chesapeake like that.
Yeah.
Even
Yeah.
early in their season, I think that was only their 9th game. The second game was only their 9th game of the year, but
Right.
still to go on the road and do that and be sitting at 10-7 into the middle of March.
Yeah.
That's more games than anybody else has really played, I think, or close to it in Region 19 right now.
Right.
Like that's
Got
that's
out
good.
and
That
did
gets
it.
us
Pretty
ahead
good
of
shape.
Thing.
Yeah.
You know,
I know Madison Maloney had 2 multi-hit games. Her father was mad at her because she struck out once or twice, and I was like, "Well, I'd be mad
Sounds
at you
like
too." So if the Maloney's are watching, yeah, I was mad at her too. And she said, "Well, one pitch wasn't a strike," and I said, "I'm going to give you the same talk I give my son. If the umpire calls it a strike, it's a strike.
strike.
No matter what. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it." So I just said, "Don't strike out. Your father won't be mad at you."
right.
It's easy as that.
That's it.
So who else performed well?
Morgan McVicker
Morgan
performed well.
McVicker.
Again,
Again, yeah.
So our athletes, our softball athletes.
I think she had a grand slam too.
she did.
And she had a couple a double and a triple too. And Allie Lemery's hit a 3-run home run in the first game. Pitchers struggled a little bit, but they still managed to
Right.
stay in the game. Coach Pitt didn't have to go to anybody else, and Allie
Right.
and Aria picked up wins. Aria honestly was doing very well
Right.
up until the later stages, but Falcons did what they had to do to.
As a strength coach, I like that they're healthy and hitting home runs.
That's it.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
that makes me happy. Everyone's still healthy.
They're
Everyone's
all
hitting
healthy
bombs.
and they're hitting.
Yeah,
That's it.
perfect. And then where do they have this weekend for?
So they got Hazelton on Tuesday.
Right.
Then they're home against Anne Arundel on Friday for a doubleheader.
Yep, and then
they're
home Saturday also.
home again on Saturday against Catonsville. So we got a big doubleheader with the with softball at 1 and 3,
Yep.
and then baseball at 3 and 6
Yes.
over at Scranton High School.
And the baseball will be a Rickert Pardini broadcast, I believe.
I think it will. You guys will be making your
And
debut.
softball's also on the road on Sunday.
Yeah,
as well,
softball
or
and
on
baseball are on the road on Sunday. Softball's at Onondaga
Yeah.
on
And then
on Sunday.
Rockland, I think.
Rockland.
So fingers
Baseball's at
crossed on a
Rockland.
lot of weather.
Yes.
Because it's going to be
Plenty
cold
of
this
games.
weekend. The increased shower percentages that I saw 2 days ago are lowered a little bit.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So mostly on Saturday. So
Right.
we don't really want to be playing in the rain and cold.
No.
So hopefully it kind of it's too early to determine.
You know what happens when
last week
when
it
rain
was-
and cold mix?
What?
Ice.
Yeah, we don't want that.
You can play on ice.
As long as you're
And
not
feels a little
muddy.
bit faster.
Yeah.
That's all.
But if we follow the weather last week on Saturday, it would have been a total washout, and instead it was 60 degrees and sunny.
Right.
So it's a little premature, but if we're, you got to get them in again when you can, because then it becomes really difficult to reschedule those non-conference games, because as the season goes on, it's so condensed.
Yep.
Softball this year, they're a week earlier than last year.
Okay.
So we have less of a chance at being able to get games in. So. And it's not just our schedule; it's theirs and on the road. And these Maryland schools, they're coming from no less than 3.5 hours.
Right.
So are we going to get them back in again? So
Yeah.
It'll be tricky.
fingers
So,
crossed.
Fingers crossed is right. And then we have some esports stuff. You're gonna talk to Coach Bobby D eventually, right? In the next week
Yes,
or so?
yeah. Rocket League just finished going undefeated in NACE.
Okay.
They were able to, which is the first time they've done that in a
NACE,
while, and still unbeaten in NJCAE. So we're looking at possible three-peat here
Good.
in terms of championships for them. Rainbow Six still doing very well. Super Smash Brothers is competing tonight, but they're still on a roll as well. I mean, things are on the up and up with esports, and as we mentioned, they're doing that event on April 20th with the Super Smash Brothers Ultimate tournament with local high schools around the area. So we'll hopefully be able to talk to Bob a little bit more about that as we get closer to it. But things are moving. I'm really impressed with Rocket League going undefeated in NACE.
You said that last week. That
They have not done that in a while. Usually, it's NJCAE. They're usually top of the pile there. But against NACE, they're facing a lot tougher competition, and usually it's much tighter. But to go unbeaten in the regular season, that's a big deal.
Right. Good. Awesome. And then, not to forget all of our other student athletes, they're all working hard in some capacity, whether in the weight room or
off-season stuff,
practice stuff,
started back
off-season
up, so
stuff.
yeah,
So
doesn't stop.
Yep, doesn't stop. It's just a circle.
Yep.
Continuous. Over and over and over. Yes. But we love it. All right, Berg, that's it. We've had it.
We've had it.
I'm hungry.
Yeah, so much.
Berg's got stuff to do.
Yep.
And then you got to get ready to broadcast.
That's right.
All right.
We called you Ferg Costas.
For Costas.
And I'm going to be Buck Rickert on Saturday.
I love it.
Yes. All right. Have a great week, Falcons. Best of luck to our athletes, and be safe out there. Take flight.